Hey, 7th graders, Mr. Allard again with another one of your flipped lessons. Today we're going to be talking about the Columbian Exchange. Your Columbian Exchange paper looks a little bit something like this. It's going to have a little less color, a little bit less fancy than this one, but you're going to put everything on here that we talk about. You're going to put items, the New World items, and the Old World items. We'll talk a little bit more about what those are as we go through. As always, if you have a question, hit me up on Schoology or post something on the board, and maybe one of your classmates can answer the question as well. All right, here we go. My Columbian Exchange. Okay, so first let's talk about what the Columbian Exchange was. All right, and we've already talked about this a little bit. Okay, so why is it called the Columbian Exchange? Basically, it happens after Columbus's voyages. We talked about it's going to be the exchange of animals, plants, goods, culture, diseases, ideas between the two hemispheres, between the Old World, which is Europe, between the New World, which is the Americas. You might also hear them called the Western Hemisphere is gonna be the New World area. The Eastern Hemisphere is gonna be the Old World area. Okay. What you're gonna see very quickly is a lot of the things that we think are kind of ours weren't. A lot of things that we think are European weren't to begin with. And the mixing of those two things is really going to be what is going to be the hugest impact of the Columbian Exchange. But we will also talk about kind of some good things and some bad things on there as well. All right, so just what we talked about earlier, New World, Western Hemisphere, the Americas, North and South, Old World, Eastern Hemisphere, goods coming from Europe, Asia, Africa, etc. Okay, so pumpkins. Let's see. What do you think it is? Pumpkins is going to be New World. Pumpkins were over here. So for your Halloween festivities, if the Europeans never explored here, we could still have pumpkins. Probably wouldn't have Halloween if they didn't come, but get my idea. Apples. A lot of apple orchards in the areas. Let's see. Old World, New World. What do you think? Old World apples were brought over from Europe. With the explorers, and they found, particularly in some areas of the United States, like ours, they grew particularly well. Turkeys! Gobble gobble Thanksgiving. Everyone's getting ready for the Thanksgiving dinner. Were turkeys here? Yes, turkeys were in the New World. However, most historians do not think that there was turkey served at Thanksgiving. Probably lots of seafood. If there was birds there was probably duck and geese. Bananas! Bananas. Old World, New World. What do you think? Old World. They were coming over from our tropical areas in Asia and in Africa and brought over and found to grow particularly well in areas like South America and Central America. Not too much up in our neck of the woods. Avocados. Now the commercial says avocados from Mexico. Are they really from Mexico? Let's see. Old World, New World, what do you think? New World, yes. The avocado was already here when the Europeans came here, so we would still have guacamole for our tacos, but we might be missing some other key ingredients to our tacos. Pineapple. Get out of the way of the pineapple. What do we think? Old World, New World. All right, so the pineapple is going to be a New World item. Coffee. Oh, Mr. Allard. If I was here in the 1400s, would I have been able to drink a cup of coffee? What do we think? Old World, New World. This is going to be Old World. Coffee beans, largely coming from Africa and parts of Asia is where they really were growing. They found some great growing areas in Central South America. Peanuts. Go nuts for peanuts. Old World, New World. New World. So, guess what though? We are not going to have one of your favorite peanut dishes, peanut butter, for another 400, 500 years. But peanuts were indigenous or native to the New World. Oranges. What do we think? Oranges, Old World, New World. Could you have had your glass of orange juice this morning if you were in the New World 500 years ago? No, they were coming from the old world. So these were coming from the tropical regions of the old world and places, the Mediterranean area in Europe, Africa, parts of Asia, etc. Grapes. Ooh, we know grapes are big around here. Finger Lakes Wine Trail, um, all that area. Were they brought here or were they already here? What do we think? Old world. So think about that big industry. If any of your friends or family work in the winery business or live near a winery, they would not be here if it was not for the Columbian Exchange. Ooh, this is a tricky one. Anyone know what that is? It's vanilla. It's a vanilla bean. It's where we get the flavor for things like vanilla ice cream, used in a lot of your treats. So what do we think? Old world, new world. Vanilla bean makes vanilla. New world around here in the tropical region, Central South America, um, and brought over to make some really nice, tasty treats in Europe. Tomatoes. Oh, we already talked about this one. We should know what this one is. Tomatoes came from New World. Remember, Italy could not have been making spaghetti. They didn't have the tomatoes for the sauce until after the Columbian Exchange. And we talked about the noodles coming from Asia. This is sugar. Okay, I know it's kind of hard to see, but this is going to be sugar. Old World, New World. Think of all those drinks that you can't avoid that have sugar in them. My coffee does not. Old World. Sugar was coming over from Europe. So we kind of got that vanilla bean, gets that sweet flavor from the New World. Old World sugar. You're going to have some tasty, delicious desserts. Making sure I know what this one is here before I say what it is, because I'm pretty sure it is a sweet potato. Making sure it wasn't a regular potato. Sweet potatoes. Might have some of these on your Thanksgiving dinner. They are coming from the New World. Even though sweet potatoes are largely grown today in major parts of Africa, they were part of the New World. Honey. Old World. Native Americans were not domesticating a lot of animals, including bees. Doesn't mean the bees weren't here, but the idea of getting the honey from them was a old world type of thing. Chocolate. Could go from chocolate right now. What do you think? Old world, new world. New world. So think about that for a second. This is chocolate. This isn't the chocolate you're used to because it's missing a key ingredient that they only had in the old world. What was that key ingredient? I'll put it as a question. Ooh, here we go. This is some wheat. Some wheat grown across the United States now. Was it always here? Old world, what do we think? No, this was brought over from the old world. Remember, a lot of Native Americans were not farmers, and what they were farming, corn, beans, squash, not growing huge amounts of food, but growing foods enough to feed their families. Over in Europe at this time period, many folks were growing enough crops not just to feed their families, but to also sell. Babies! Oink oink. Old world, new world. What do you think? Old world. Most domesticated animals are coming over from the old world. So a lot of our farms in our area, dairy farms, pigs, chickens, etc., they weren't here. They were brought over by Europeans. Chili peppers. Like your food a little spicy. Did Europeans like their food spicy? They didn't know yet because that stuff wasn't coming over. It was coming from the New World. A lot of places in Mexico, South America, the southern part of the United States were growing chili peppers, and they were brought over to Europe from the New World. Olives. Ugh, I don't like olives. Too salty. Where were olives coming from? Old World. If you ever heard the term Greek olives, Greece is known for their olives. They're coming over from the Old World. What the heck are these? Oh, they're beans. Sorry, some of my pictures aren't the greatest. These are going to be beans. Well, we already kind of talked about this with the three sisters, with the Iroquois, with the Southwest Native Americans. Beans are coming from the New World to the Old World. Ooh, moo cows. Already talked about them. Where are cows coming from? Oh yeah, that's right. Old World. Okay, lots of those domesticated animals are only coming from those areas, from the Old World. Onions. Sometimes you like to put them on stuff. right? Maybe make your breath smell a little bit, but they're pretty good. Old World, okay? They're coming from Europe, grown in European farms, brought over to the Americas. Now they're growing all over the place. Corn, I already talked about this. Swan, corn, bean, squash. New World, easy peasy. All right, so here's a list of, in case you missed any, so you can double check your list and make sure that any of them. Couple that we did not mention, all right, that we are going to mention a little bit later. Diseases, smallpox, malaria, lots of other types of diseases and things like that being spread, but we'll talk about a little bit more of them. A couple from the Old World, a couple from the New World. Also, I don't think it mentioned, but the New World had a plant that is going to be very big in the Old World. So make sure you jot down at the bottom there, tobacco. Tobacco wasn't on one of our slides, but make sure it's there. All right, that's our flip lesson for today. So your chart should now look a little something like that. On page 26 in your notebook, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, as always, hit me up on Schoology. Till then, Ellard out.